In the deadly world of Squid Game, survival isn't just about strength or cunning, it's about one fatal mistake that could seal your fate. Each player entered the game with hope, ambition, or desperation, but for most, their dreams quickly turned into nightmares. What if that one small decision, the flick of a finger, a misplaced step, or a split-second hesitation, was all it took to send them to their grave? Today, we're breaking down the biggest mistakes that got players killed, starting with one of the most heartbreaking betrayals in the entire series. If there was ever a player who didn't deserve to die, it was Ali Abdul. Loyal, selfless, and maybe just a little too trusting. From the very beginning, Ali proved he wasn't just in the game for himself. He saved Gi-hun during red light, green light, risking his own life. He helped his team win the tug-of-war with raw strength and teamwork. While others schemed, Ali believed that if they stuck together, they could all survive. But Squid Game doesn't reward kindness, it punishes it. And in Episode 6, during the marbles game, that lesson hit hard. Ali partnered with Sang-woo, believing they would find a way out together.
I think you and I could really win the money.
But the moment the rule was revealed, that only one player could survive, Ali should have realized the truth. Instead, he trusted Sang-woo.
Hey, come on, if you help me, then there's a way that both of us can live.
At first, Sang-woo acted like he had a plan, tricking Ali into collecting marbles and stalling for time. Then came the gut-wrenching moment. Ali handed over his marbles, believing Sang-woo's lie. We all screamed at our screens, "Don't do it, Ali!" But it was too late. He was left standing there, confused and betrayed as Sang-woo walked away. That final look on Ali's face, a mix of heartbreak and realization, was what made his death the most painful. He never saw it coming, but he should have. In Squid Game, there's one rule that always holds true: never trust anyone. As tragic as Ali's fate was, the next death was driven not by trust, but by revenge. If Squid Game teaches us anything, it's that what goes around comes around, and no one proved that more than Jang Deok-soo and Han Min-yo. Deok-soo was ruthless from the start, stealing food, picking fights, and killing without hesitation. He used Min-yo when it benefited him, then tossed her aside like trash. But Min-yo didn't forget. She waited, played along, flattered him, made him believe she was still loyal.
What's wrong? Are you sad? Why? Is your connection dead?
Fast forward to the glass bridge game, Deok-soo was terrified.
Anyone want to get across? Well, you better go first then!
Frozen in fear, refusing to move forward. Anyone want to go first? Go on, he shouted. But no one moved. That's when Min-yo stepped up. She smiled, approached slowly, and whispered,
You betrayed me. Now you're going to die.
You betrayed me. Now you're going to die. Then she grabbed him and dragged them both into the abyss. That wasn't hesitation. That was vengeance. They thought they could outplay each other, but in the end, their mutual deceit sealed both their fates. But not every fatal mistake was emotional. Some were calculated risks that backfired. Player 111, the doctor named Byung-gi, had a secret advantage. While other players were blind to the upcoming games, Byung-gi had inside information. The guards fed him details in exchange for his help harvesting organs from dead contestants. It was disgusting, but it worked for a while. He breezed through rounds without hesitation, always seeming to know exactly what to do. Other players struggled and guessed. He walked through each test with eerie confidence. If he had just kept a low profile, he might have made it to the end. But the pressure got to him. When the guards failed to deliver the next game's details, Byung-gi snapped. In a panic, he killed one of them and tried to escape. He didn't make it far. Cornered in the honeycomb game hall, he was executed on the spot by the frontman. His body, and those of the traitorous guards, were strung up in the stairwell as a brutal message. The game must always be fair. No one is bigger than the game. Try to cheat it, and it will destroy you. In Squid Game, every second matters, and for player 017, waiting just 1 second too long cost him his life. During the glass bridge game, where one wrong step means death, he had an edge. he was a glassmaker. For the first time in the competition, someone had a real skill that could help everyone. "I used to make glass for over 30 years, he said.
I can tell the panels apart.
You can tell?
I used to make glass for over 30 years.
He could see subtle differences between tempered and regular glass, giving the players a fighting chance. But as the clock ticked down, he hesitated, analyzing the panels while everyone behind him grew restless. Sang-woo, impatient and ruthless, didn't wait. He shoved 017 forward, forcing a split-second decision. The glass shattered beneath him. Just like that, a player who should have survived was eliminated, not by the game, but by desperation. Sometimes it's not the rules that kill you, it's the people. Then there was player 240, Ji Yong, who made her choice not out of fear or strategy, but something deeper. She wasn't playing to win. She had no family, no future, no reason to survive. But when she met Kang Se-byuk, she found something she never had before: connection. During the marbles game, neither of them wanted to fight. They spent most of the time just talking. And then, with the clock running out, Ji Yong made a decision. She tossed her marble away. "You've got a reason to get out of this place. I don't." She smiled, calm and ready.
I have nothing. You got a reason to get out of this place. But I don't.
She didn't even flinch when the gun went off.
Thank you for playing with me.
Ji Yong's death wasn't forced, it was a sacrifice. But that's what made it tragic. She could have fought, she could have won. She chose not to. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to watch. But perhaps the most devastating mistake came from player 069, a mistake made long before the marbles game began. When players were told to choose partners, most assumed they'd be working together, so player 069 chose his wife. That one decision doomed them both. When the rule was revealed, only one partner could survive. It was already too late. We don't see their game. We don't need to. The aftermath said it all. He won. She didn't. And the guilt crushed him. Back in the dorms, he tried to rally the others. "If 9 of us agree, we can end this. Doesn't anyone want to leave?" he pleaded. No one moved.
If 9 of us agree we can get out of here, don't any of you want to leave this horrible place? Anyone wants to go? Stand up, let's get out of here.
That night, he took his own life. He made it further than she did, but what was the point? In the end, the weight of her death killed him before the game ever could. But the next player, she barely had time to realize her mistake before it was over. Kong Mina, known only as player 196, was eliminated almost as soon as the game began. She had stepped onto the field for red light, green light, just like everyone else. The rules were simple: move only when the doll says green light, and stop when it says red light. But in the middle of the deadly silence, a bee landed on her shoulder. A tiny, meaningless distraction. That was all it took. She flinched. The doll turned. The gun fired.
I just moved, didn't I?
A moment of instinctual reaction sealed her fate. "I just moved, didn't I?" She might have thought, but there was no time to reflect. In Squid Game, a single involuntary motion could mean death. She didn't get tricked, she didn't panic, she just moved. And for that, she was the very first to fall. Some players in Squid Game suffer, some fight. Kong Mina? She never had a chance, but not everyone's downfall was so innocent. Player 256, Ga-young-soo, wasn't eliminated due to weakness, but because of blind loyalty. Early in the game, he attached himself to Thanos, player 230, and his brutal gang, believing that strength in numbers would protect him. Initially, the alliance gave him security, but when the Mingle game forced players to regroup, Gyeong-soo learned a brutal lesson: loyalty meant nothing. Thanos and his crew abandoned him without hesitation. Gyeong-soo's mistake wasn't trusting people. It was trusting the wrong ones in a place where betrayal is currency. By the time he realized that alliances are temporary in Squid Game, he was already out. Thanos, on the other hand, fell victim to his own aggression. As player 230, he thrived on chaos, bullying weaker players, picking fights, and building a reputation as the game's most feared participant. But being feared comes at a cost. His biggest enemy was player 333, Lee Yonggi, a man he had ruined outside the game due to a failed crypto scheme. Inside the arena, Thanos continued tormenting him, pushing until Yonggi snapped. During a bathroom confrontation, Thanos threw the first punch, thinking he was still in control, but Yonggi struck back, fatally, with a fork to the throat. Thanos didn't die because he was overpowered. He died because he didn't know when to stop. However, player 095, Kim Yi, made no enemies and played smartly. She formed a strong team with Cho Yeonju and others, staying calm and strategic. But when the Mingle game created chaos and her group rushed to claim a room, Kim Yi was shoved outside in the panic. As Yeonju tried to pull her in, Lee Yonggi slammed the door shut to save the others. She was left behind and executed. Her mistake wasn't action or inaction, it was being in the wrong place at the wrong time. In Squid Game, that alone can get you killed. Then there was the recruiter, a man who had lured countless desperate souls into the game with nothing more than a slap and a card. But eventually he crossed paths again with Gi-hun, the man who survived it all. In a final confrontation, the recruiter challenged Gi-hun to Russian roulette. 1 bullet, 6 chambers, no spinning after each shot. As the revolver passed between them, tension rose. Gi-hun, calm and defiant, turned the challenge around. With only 1 shot left, he told the recruiter, "Pull the trigger and end it."
It's called Russian roulette. Usually you put a single bullet into the revolver, give it a spin. We take our turns like we're supposed to, except we don't spin it each round. That way we know the bullet will be fired by round 6 at the latest.
But the recruiter couldn't. The gun turned inward. 1 last shot. Game over. His mistake.
The only thing you'd have to do now is pull that trigger once, and you could kill me right here.
Forgetting that in Squid Game, everyone is just a player, even him. And as for Gi-hun, yes, he won, but he barely escaped death, and every step along the way, 1 wrong move could have ended everything. In Squid Game, the difference between life and death is often just a single decision. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon for more interesting videos like this.